Hello and welcome to the Houston District Photographic Society PDI of the Year 2020. And we welcome as our judge for this competition, Pauline Martindale.
I have seen the images before, so I have sort of already made my comments, but I will give them to you tonight. This is an interesting image, but it's so sharp that I can almost feel the prickles. I don't know about you, you sort of think if you put your hand on it, it's going to hurt you. But I like the way that you've actually managed to include the small cobweb right in the center. I think that works as well. But I do feel that even though the background is quite soft, it is still quite intrusive, particularly the stem at the bottom left-hand corner. Next, please.
So that one was a puzzle within a puzzle. I will announce them beforehand. I just forgot on that one.
Okay.
Yeah. After the tourists have gone.
Okay. Lovely image of Venice. I think it's one of those images that everybody tries to get, and I think this is lovely and sharp. It's a typical tourist photo, but it is beautifully sharp. But I think if you'd have moved the camera slightly to the left, we may have been able to include the back end of the gondolas, particularly as you do have space on the right. And I think that would have enhanced the image a little bit more, even to lose the gondola on the right, but to get the back end of these gondolas in on the left-hand side. Lovely colouring in the sky and lovely colouring overall. Next, please.
Beneath the wing of an angel.
Strong vertical lines give an almost abstract feel to this well-known statue, which stands out well against the background. Next, please.
Best in show.
I feel that this image is slightly out of balance. You've got a lovely soft beach scene with beautiful colouring and the distant hills, but the very black dog really dominates it somewhat. And if you want to sort of wander around the image, but I am glad that you did manage to keep 1 foot on the ground, so we have got in grounded. Thank you. Next one, please.
Boats at Shotley Marina.
Strong vertical lines of what I assume to be masts of the boat, and also the colouring in the reflection. But I am somewhat distracted by the very thin, sharp sliver on the top edge of the image. I think you could have easily have cropped that out, particularly if you've given us a letterbox formation. I just find that very thin sliver at the top quite distracting. Next, please.
Boscombe Pier, early morning.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and find that pen thing that you said, oh, annotate, wasn't it? Yeah, that's it. I'm just going to try and find that. Yeah, okay. Boscombe Pier, early morning. Yeah, I think this is it's a very strong symmetrical image. Beautiful sort of lines going across. You've got a lovely straight horizon. The lights are a tad bright, but overall, I just get the feeling that it is a little bit overdone on the HDR. Next, please.
Chaffinch in rain.
I like this little chap, and the colours really come out well. But I do feel that he's a little bit too bright considering the amount of rain that seems to be around. I don't know whether you've added the rain or whether you've sort of done something with him. But I was actually looking at this, doing the judging on my laptop, and I was looking at it on there. I do see there is a little splash of rain on the Chaffinch, so maybe I am being a little bit unfair, but I certainly feel his head and his body is a bit too bright for the amount of rain that is around. Next, please.
Dance of Death.
Yeah, I think the tree is well placed in the image. I like the shape of it. The background is a little bit disconcerting. You've got that quite strong diagonal line in which and what I assume to be sand dunes. But I think you could have cropped a little bit of the dominant sky, very dominant blue sky. I'm just going to try and do something here. I don't know if it'll work, maybe not. But I think you could have maybe cropped across there just to, no, it's not showing up. Just
it is showing up.
Oh, right,
yeah.
I can't see it, so that's fine. But yeah, just to get, I think because the sky is actually dominating the whole image. So yeah, next, please.
Driving them on.
Although I think this is a little on the light side, there is good detail in the sky. You can just see the clouds there. But the diagonal line of the horses gives strength to the image. And I particularly like the inclusion of the three guys at the back who've all got their whips vertically. And the fact that we can see most of the horses' faces, I think really works well. It's a different image and I like that. I'd like to hold that one back, please.
That's held back. Pauline, if you want to hit your eraser because your mark's still on the screen.
Oh, okay. I thought I had erased it. Annotate. Let's have a look. Eraser. Is that it? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Got it.
Thanks.
Fluted glass.
Good detail in the glass, and I like the graded background. But whilst the top part stands out well against the background, I do think the base has become somewhat lost. And I think it may have worked better if you could have reduced the colour of the background slightly at the base. We would have seen more of the base of the glass. Next, please.
Freesias.
Beautifully delicate picture, and the background complements the image well. I like the way the stems at the bottom of the image fade away, which draws the eye back towards the top. So there's nothing to sort of hold your eye at the bottom, and you're just drawn back up to the top of the image. And I think that works well. And I'd hold that one back, please.
That's held. Georgian jugs.
Yeah, I found this one a little bit disconcerting. The jugs are well balanced in size wise, but I do find the mixture of colours a little confusing and slightly garish, especially the green handle on the larger jug. Next, please.
High and low water.
I can see where you get the title from for this, but I do find the right-hand side of the image a little bit too dominant, and it does draw the eye away. And I think if you'd have done a crop, let me see if I can do it. If you could have done a crop sort of down, oh, that's not very straight, is it? But somehow down there, so we just saw the left-hand part of the image, I think that would have added a strength to it. But you'd obviously have to change the title if you did that, but you couldn't call it high and low water. It does look as if the weather was against you on that day, so well done for being brave to go out there. But the movement of the water in the middle does seem to be at odds with the rest of the picture. I was looking at this and it looks like the sort of water is coming through the dam and it's meeting the river, and you've got this sort of movement, but it does look quite odd there. But yeah, I think certainly a crop from the right hand side I think would have balanced the image a bit more. So how do I get rid of that? Do I just
Eraser.
oh, eraser? This is new to me, so yep, okay, all right, thank you. Next image, please.
I don't have mud on my face.
No, you don't. I'll agree with you there. But well done on getting this lovely image, which is sharp, well sharp over the whole face, especially the eyes. And you've got that lovely eye contact where he's looking directly at you. I wonder if you did one of the tricks of the trade and put some treats on the top of your camera or something like that to get him to sit and look at you. The background is diffused, as is the body, which is soft, and that only adds to the sharpness of the face. I think you've handled the lighting well, especially on the body part, which is quite bright white, but a lovely fella. But I will let that one go. We'll see the next one, please.
Josie in white.
Although the shades on this different pose are predominantly white, the skin tones, the hair colouring, I think bring just enough colour into it just to lift it out of that white background. But we can still see good detail in the background and in the floor, and I like the way you have the model's attention, and it's a different pose, but you have got that eye contact, which does create that that link with the model. I'll hold that one back, please.
Monarch of the Glen.
A delightful study of this magnificent creature and what looks like atrocious weather conditions. Doesn't look as if he had anything going in your favour, but to actually see this beast must have been really exciting. There's almost a feeling that he's actually looking at you. I like the separation that you have got of the antlers. You have got that separation, and also the separation of the 4 feet there as well. And it's a well diffused background, and he stands out well. I'll hold that one back, please.
Nitpicking.
Good detail in the face and eyes, or face and body of this monkey. I suppose it's a monkey, isn't it? And I like the cat's lights in his eyes. I think you've caught those well. However, I do feel that the man and the monkey are actually vying for attention. And I wonder if you were able, if you could have slightly toned down the man so that he wasn't so dominant and competing with the monkey, because I'm sort of drawn between the two of them, looking at the man and looking at the monkey as well. And I would have liked to have spent more time sort of looking at the monkey. Thank you. Next image, please.
Packhorse Bridge, the Dales.
Classic landscape photography, but I don't say that in any derogatory tone. I think it's a beautiful image. It's beautifully sharp from front to back with a good range of colours. You've obviously got the right time of the year, late summer, early autumn there. And there's good detail in the sky, good cloud detail. The trees at the top edge are both cut off, top left and top right, but I don't think it really matters in this instance, because they do draw the eye back down to the main part of the image, which is the bridge and the reflection, beautiful reflections there. And I will hold that one back, please.
Plane spotting.
Yeah, the 2 young lads at the forefront of this image do add a sense of scale. But I think they are fairly central. But as the plane appears to be moving, because there is slight movement on the propellers, so well done for getting that. I think if you would have taken several shots, we would have got the lads more at the end of the plane, which would have taken them onto the third much better, and they would have sort of balanced out with the tail end of the plane. But again, good detail in the sky. You've got the clouds, and that in good detail there. And yeah, let that one go. Thank you.
Red squirrel, Cairngorms.
I think this is a well-seen image. It's picking up the red tones in the squirrel, I think, with a really well done for that, and a lovely diffused background. However, I do feel there's a lot of space on the right-hand side and a slight crop, maybe the plant at the right-hand side. Let me see if I can do that. If it could have been cropped. Oh, that didn't work, did it? Let me try something else. Sorry, I'm new to this, so right, let's try that. Yeah, crop down sort of that side of the image, slightly to the right, I think, would have just got rid of some of the empty space. It would have put the squirrel more in the center of the image, but I don't think in this instance it would matter. But I think it's just would have sort of created more of a focal point than we have at the moment. So I will let that one go. Thank you. Done it again. I've forgotten. Okay, yeah, I'll let that one go. Thank you.
Yeah. Steady as she goes.
Yeah, well seen image, again, which was obviously a day that wasn't conducive to photography, but you've seen this one very well. I wonder how you know that it's a female. Whether you think that men wouldn't be out in this sort of weather, I don't know. But yeah, well seen image, but a very strong V shape with the wings that you've created there, which almost stands out as 3D. I'll let that one go. Thank you.
Tewkesbury.
A good shot of this lovely old building, and I think you've got the detail in there really good. The lighting has been handled well. A lovely sky, which is actually complementing the image. But I do find the sign on the right hand side a little bit distracting, as we've only got half of it. And if you wanted to be really radical, you could have cropped both sides of the image to the edge of the tourist information building, and making a portrait shot. And this would have eliminated the half of the building on the other side, although I don't find that as distracting as the sign. Or if you didn't want to do that, if you'd have stepped back a couple of steps or even zoomed out a little bit, we would have got the whole of the sign in there. And I think it's something you have to be careful of. If you have got a notice that is very clear and it's got writing on, you either have to sort of get the whole of the sign in or crop it out. So yeah, I will let that one go. Thank you.
The nursery.
Yeah, this was quite a weird image. A lot of work done on this. It's a very ghostly image, isn't it? Invoking memories perhaps of a distant past. Maybe this was, you've got memories of this place or sort of being in somewhere like that. But I do find that the cat, I think it's a cat, the ghostly cat there, a little strange. As for me, the slight colour of that cat just seems a little at odds with the rest of the image. I can understand why you maybe wanted to keep some colouring in that so that we could pick it out, but I do find it a little bit disconcerting. It's my eye is being drawn to the cat. But I've just seen, I was thinking this was a mono image, but it's actually not. There are shades, different tones in there in the brickwork and the wall behind. So you have got tones in there, but I still think that the predominant tone is a monotone, and I still find the cat a little bit distracting. Thank you, I'll let that one go.
True cattle heart mating.
Yeah, well seen image of the two butterflies, I'm assuming, not moths. And well done for having the patience to get this photo. I always have a lot of time for people who can sit there for ages waiting for the right time with the right photo. But I do find the profusion of leaves a little distracting and would have liked to have seen them a little bit more diffused. You've got lovely diffusion bottom left of the image, but the leaves at the top, I think, are just drawing the eye away from the butterflies. I will let that one go. Thank you.
Trust.
Certainly an element of trust comes over in this image, and I think good silhouettes against a lovely background. But I do feel if you'd taken several frames, or indeed waited maybe a nanosecond, we might have got the separation between the child's foot and the rock, and that really would have sort of come over as a trust image. I would have liked to have just seen that slight gap between the foot and the rock there. Yeah, I'll let that one go. Thank you.
Waiting for the train.
Pictures, isn't it, that you just have to take when you see it, and it's possibly volunteers on an old steam railway waiting for the next steam train to come in or something like that. I think you've handled the reflections in the paintwork well. We've got sort of lovely reflections there which just lifts the background so it's not sort of dull painting. But I think if you'd have cropped the image from the left, getting rid of the distracting buffer in the bottom left hand corner, I think that would have been a little bit stronger. The buffer is just sort of there. Either again zooming out so we got more of what the buffer is on, or just cropping that buffer out. Thank you, I'll let that one go.
Watching.
A good range of tones in this image. Although the table is quite busy, there's a lot of stuff on the table, isn't there? It's almost a modern day brief encounter. And I like the fact that the bottles in the background are quite soft, but they're not so soft that we can't identify what they are. So well diffused background there. The image tells a story, doesn't it? Or rather it leads the viewer to ask questions. Were this couple having an illicit meeting? Were they arguing? And what indeed is the guy in the background watching? Is he snooping on the couple? Is he listening in on them? We'll never know. I'll let that one go. Thank you.
Water drops on leaf.
The whole image is very sharp, and I like that, particularly on the leaf with the water drops and the veins in the leaf and everything else. But I perhaps would have liked to have seen the tree a little less so, because again, it's sort of like it's vying with the leaf, and it does seem to be quite distracting. As the makeup of the image was obviously in your control, maybe if you'd have cropped the stalk on the left, made it a little bit shorter and moved it slightly, you could have got a bigger gap between the tip of the leaf on the right hand side and the edge of the frame. Thank you. Let that one go.
So that's the last image. We have 5 held images.
It's going to be an early night tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the held images. So I'll just run through them again.
Yep.
Manually. you go.
Okay. Excuse me, just gonna have a drink. I've got a dry throat. Excuse me. Right. No, I was told I could have a couple of highly commended. So my first highly commended is Josie in white.
Okay. Okay, so that's highly commended.
Yep, well done.
Actually, let's go back to that. There we go.
Okay. My second highly commended is Monarch of the Glen.
Okay. Okay.
Now we're down to the business end, aren't we?
Yep.
These are all, I think, lovely images and different in their own way. But the third tonight is the Packhorse Bridge.
Okay. That is third place. Okay. No.
Because it's quite different and it's compared to some of the other images, I decided that the second tonight is the Freesias.
Okay.
Which means by process of elimination that your PDI of the year and first on the night is Driving Them On.
Brilliant.
Lovely
okay.
image, and it was different. I really enjoyed that. When I went through, that was immediately jumped out at me as the winning image.
So in reverse order, from the highly commended, just write something down there. Highly commended, Monarch of the Glen is Bill Hiskett. Josie in white is Brian Fleming. Third, Packhorse Bridge is Mark Stanbury. And second is Freesias, Jill Beckett. And Driving Them On, PDI of the year is by Keith Rose. So if you all want to unmute, and then you can sort of let rip and scream and holler and all that sort of stuff.
Well done, Keith.
Okay,
Well
so,
done.
and actually,
Before we start screaming and shouting, can I just say something? I'd just like to say a big thank you to Pauline for agreeing to do this after having expected to be doing it in May and expecting to be doing it in Halstead. The fact that you actually agreed to this, we're really, really grateful. And thank you so much for doing it live, because this is about as close as we can get to a normal meeting at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really grateful to you.
Yes, thank
Your
you.
comments were all succinct and to the point, and I agreed with every single one of your held back images. So a big round of applause, everybody, please.
Thank you. Thank you.